Welcome to Unlocking Traditional Chinese Medicine for Weight Loss. Thank you for joining me today, those of you who are live and those of you who are going to be watching the recording later on. I appreciate you all supporting this process and showing up today. All right, so today we're going to be talking about unlocking the power of Chinese medicine for weight loss. We're going to begin the journey today. So let me tell you a little bit about myself. I have a Midwestern upbringing. I grew up in the Midwest in Wisconsin. I moved to Minneapolis. I did my undergrad, and it brought me eventually out here to San Diego, California, where I received both my master's and my doctorate in traditional Chinese medicine. So I specialize in acupuncture, Chinese herbology. I also offer Asian bodywork since 2005. I've been doing acupuncture since 2012. And I specialize in something called Qinei Song, which I'm going to share with you a little bit more today. And I also studied in Thailand with Master Mantak Chia, where some of the information that you're going to learn today comes from. So if you want to know more about me, come get some sessions from me and we can talk more about my background. So today we're going to talk about why traditional Chinese medicine. Why is this the way to use your body for weight loss? Why is this medicine around for thousands of years, and what can it do to help you in this situation? So the connection lies in the holistic approach that it takes to addressing these underlying imbalances that contribute to weight gain. Chinese medicine views excess weight as a symptom of disharmony of the body rather than just a result of overeating or lack of exercise. Those are important too, but not the main factors. And we can address the root causes of weight gain, such as hormonal imbalances, digestive issues, stress, emotional factors, and we aim to restore that balance and promote the sustainable weight loss. It incorporates various modalities, including acupuncture, herbal therapy, dietary adjustments, lifestyle modifications, and it generally provides this support for an overall well-being to optimize the body's natural ability to achieve healthy weight. So we can incorporate these Chinese medicine principles into weight loss programs that can offer several benefits. First off is that we take a holistic approach, right? We address the underlying imbalances, as I mentioned, that can contribute to weight gain. We consider the factors such as digestion, hormones, emotional well-being, the energy flow through the body, all to create a comprehensive and personalized approach to weight management. We get individualized treatments, and we recognize that each person's body is unique, and weight loss is, when we talk about weight loss, we're considering a person's constitution, their lifestyle, their health history, and we can provide a treatment plan that addresses the root cause of weight gain for that specific person for those specific reasons. Chinese medicine can also help restore balance. Chinese medicine is all about creating that balance between yin and yang, which I'm going to share with you in a bit. And we aim to harmonize the flow of that energy through the body, balancing to optimize that overall health for your weight loss. And by addressing the imbalances and promoting the proper function of organs and systems, we can create an environment in the body that is conducive to sustainable weight management. We also look at the mind-body connection. Chinese medicine recognizes this strong connection between the mind and body. It's not very common in the Western medicine mind, but we're starting to have more conversations about it. We consider the emotional factors, the stress, the lifestyle choices, all of that can impact the mind-body practice, the mind and body connection. So we have practices like acupuncture, meditation, qigong, all to reduce stress, improve your emotional well-being, and support healthy weight loss. Emotional regulation, just talking about that. Our emotions impact our bodies more than our Western minds and the health paradigm even recognizes. And Chinese medicine emphasizes the importance of mental health for optimal functions of our bodies. It also uses natural remedies, right? It's a whole range, including the acupuncture, the herbs I talked about, nutritional recommendations, lifestyle modifications, and all of this can support healthy weight loss. These are natural approaches and generally safe to help address these specific imbalances. It can improve digestion, boost metabolism, and promote overall health and well-being. And by incorporating these principles into the weight loss programs, it's a comprehensive and personalized approach that goes beyond calorie counting restrictive diets. So we can address the underlying causes of weight gain and promote them within the body using Chinese medicine. So we're going to first try and understand Chinese medicine. And how do we do that? We're going to talk about the basic principles of Chinese medicine. We're going to talk about the yin and yang balance for weight loss. And then we're going to talk about the 5-element theory in weight loss management. Let's dive in. So traditional Chinese medicine has been around for thousands of years. It's this idea that we find balance for the health between the body and disease. And we promote the stimulation and the flow of qi through the body to improve circulation, relieve stress, and support the body. But what is qi? For those of you who aren't familiar with what qi is loosely translated on this term that means energy. We are using energy to do work with our body. This includes the mind, the spirit, and our physical body. It's everywhere, it's in everything, and it has different shapes and forms, similar to how water can be both a solid, liquid, and a gas. And every action or non-action affects our bodies. And we can create changes in our bodies by what we put into it. There is qi in the food that we eat. There is qi in the actions that we take. There's qi in getting the sunshine. There's qi in the different temperatures we receive, right? It's everywhere and is in part of our bodies at all times. And that's what we're working with. If you're familiar with acupuncture, you've probably seen pictures similar to this, where we are looking through the acupuncture channels, right? So there are 12 main meridians that flow through the body, and we move that qi with Chinese medicine through these channels, and we want that optimal flow. But if you have a pain in your shoulder, in your neck, you have a headache, you have digestive issues, that means that the qi is somehow blocked in one of these channels. And so that's what we do with acupuncture, is we open up these channels, clear out any blockages, and get things flowing optimally in your body. So when we think of Chinese medicine, it's divided into 2 parts. We have the internal medicine, and we put that in our bodies, where we have external medicine, and that's what we apply to our bodies. So breaking that down, we have the internal medicine, which is treating the body with what we put into it. Hippocrates has this great quote, "Let food be thy medicine and medicine be thy food." So we think about Chinese herbs, which are the nuts, the twigs, the leaves, barks, berries, insects, flowers. We have herbs in the kitchen, right? Different spices like turmeric, cinnamon, anise, peppercorn, right? Those are all things you can find in the kitchen, which are Chinese herbs as well. And then we use food as medicine, green foods, vegetables, fruits, right? Things that we can get from the earth and we can put into our bodies. That's what we can use to be healing. And then we have the external medicine, which is what can be applied from the outside of the body. And another quote, "Your body's ability to heal is greater than anyone has permitted you to believe." So when we use things like acupuncture, which I'll probably talk a lot about, we use the needles that are applied along specific energy pathways called meridians. We can use cupping as well. This creates circulation to areas that didn't otherwise have it. We can relieve muscle pain. We can move the lymphatic flow, or we can do massage. And massage can do something similar. We can circulate the blood, the lymph, the fluids to relax the body and ease the mind if there's any stress. So now let's talk about yin and yang. They are opposing factors that are complementary forces within the body and the universe as a whole. We can achieve a balance between yin and yang for optimal health, including weight management. So yin, if you're not familiar, represents the nourishing, the cooling, the calming aspects of the body, and the yang represents the active, warming, energizing aspects. And we want a balance between those. So the 3 main topics to talk about today are metabolism. Yang energy is responsible for the metabolism of the body, the breakdown, the movement of the fuel from the food that we're taking in the body, our body's ability to convert food into energy. And then we have food cravings and emotional eating, right? Those kind of go hand in hand. You crave foods when you're feeling emotional. And that's an imbalance of the yin and the yang. And so we can balance those out. I'll talk about that in a minute. Oops, excuse me. And stress and emotional well-being. The yin and yang is not balanced when you're feeling stressed out, when you want to pull your hair out, right? When you're feeling irritable at your partner or your kids or your workmate for anything, right? That can change the yin and yang balance within your body. So when we talk about metabolism, we talk about the yang energy. If there's too much yang energy, that can lead to an overactive of metabolism, right? So have you ever eaten food and then you're like hungry 15 minutes later? That's too much yang energy, breaking it down too fast. So you're not absorbing those nutrients. And if you're not absorbing nutrients, then your cells aren't getting what they need to function properly. Or if you don't have enough yang energy, that can slow it down. And then you're not even burning calories, right? And so that's what we want to find the balance in for metabolism. When we're talking about the food craving and emotional eating, the excessive yin that leads to craving those sweet or those cold foods. And if you have that excess yang, which we talked about, then you're going to crave spicy and greasy foods, right? So that yang is that upward and outward and warming. That's what you're going to crave to satiate. And so we want to restore that yin and yang to address what's happening with these imbalances. And you can do that by having healthier food choices and eating a balanced diet. So for stress and emotions, right? If we have that excess yin energy, that can lead to those feelings of sluggishness, depression, emotional instability. And that excess yang energy may manifest as anxiety, restlessness, irritability, trouble sleeping, right? And those issues can hinder your weight loss and keeping it off your body. So what we want to do is help support that. So Chinese medicine aims to restore the yin and yang balance through these various modalities, as we've talked about, the acupuncture, the herbs, nutrition, lifestyle. And by addressing these, we can help support that healthy weight loss, your metabolism, reduce cravings, improve your overall emotional well-being by promoting the overall harmony within the body. So now let's talk about the 5-element theory. So we're building our knowledge here. So once we've built all these foundations, we're going to dive into all the different aspects of Chinese medicine. This is a great chart you had to memorize in school. Each organ is associated with an element in nature. When we think about how this element behaves in nature, it informs us of the qualities, characteristics, and functions of the organ systems. We can use different tastes associated with the organs to prescribe herbal therapy that aid that specific organ and its healing capabilities. And we can recommend nutritional support for those organs and return them to balance. So looking at the emotions and the organs, we can utilize visualization and breathing techniques to address the organs through mindfulness, meditation, and Qigong practices. So this is a good chart to know. So when you're starting to feel one of these imbalances, you can come to this chart and recognize which organ might be in disharmony. So we're going to go through each of these. So the fire element is related to the heart and the small intestine. So this body type tends to have weight gain in the upper body, including the chest and the abdomen. And these individuals often have a craving for sweet or rich foods. If you have an earth element body type, this is associated with the spleen and stomach. This is weight gain in the midsection, especially the abdomen. And these types of body types might struggle with cravings for carbs and sugary foods. The metal element, this type of body type is related to the lungs and the large intestine. Particularly, they tend to have weight gain in the lower body, particularly the hips and the thighs, and they also may experience water retention. And the water element, this is the kidneys and the bladder. This is weight gain in the lower abdomen and hips. And these individuals might be craving salty or fatty foods. And for the wood element, this is associated with the liver and the gallbladder. This tends to have an accumulation of weight around the waist and the upper body. They might also experience bloating and digestive issues. So how do we use this information for weight loss? Everything that I just shared with you, what does it mean? How do we put it all together? So we use a lot of pattern diagnosis. And unlike Western medicine, which is a one-size-fits-all approach, For example, how many of you have tried a pill or done one diet, right? Maybe it's worked for a bit, but then your body went right back to its pattern. So it's a combination of knowing where your imbalances are, what your body type tends towards, and making choices from that information instead of looking for a quick fix. This is the long game. When I talk to my patients about weight loss, the thing I always share is a gym analogy. You can't go to the gym once, lift weights once, and expect your muscles to be cut, right? You have to do it over time. You have to be consistent. You have to show up every week, every day, however often you do it, to make the change in your body you want to see. Same thing with digestion, same thing with weight loss. You have to be consistent and keep showing up and creating these new habits and patterns so you can retrain your body to behave in a different way, right? You can see it. You've seen it for people who didn't go to the gym and then they went to the gym. You've seen those changes. Same thing for weight loss. So we're retraining your body. We're retraining the fat cells, your digestive process, your sleep patterns, etc. And we're training your body to do something different by influencing a change in its behavior. And this, my friends, is the key to unlocking Chinese medicine for weight loss. This is by treating the individual by their body constitution and pattern, and that's how we can customize our treatment plans and achieve weight loss goals. Because it's a combination of the yin and yang theory, combination of the 5 elements and other nuanced concepts about how the body functions in patterns, which I don't have time to get into today. But this is the key to unlocking weight loss, by getting something customized to your specific body type. So here are just a few of the body types that are prone. When we're talking about patterns in Chinese medicine, here are some of the common patterns that we're going to go through each today. So first off, the qi and blood stagnation, right? So they play, as we talked about qi, blood also plays a role in the circulation and maintaining the healthy metabolism and balance within the body. And if they're stagnant or blocked, and that could be because of poor circulation or sedentary lifestyle, it can lead to that weight gain. So check out these symptoms. This is someone who tends to be stressed or easily frustrated, anxious, mood swings, dry mouth, disturbed sleep, right? Look at that. They could develop high hypertension. They have that upper body weight gain. They're easily irritable, and they're more sensitive to stressors. They crave the greasy and sour, salty foods, alcohol, and even meat. Then we have the type where it's a spleen and stomach weakness, right? They're responsible for digestion, the transformation and transportation of the food and the nutrients to the body. And if this is in a dysfunction, it can impair that digestion, have poor nutrient absorption, accumulate dampness and phlegm, which is weight gain. So you feel that frequent bloating, that abdominal distension, poor appetite, loose stools, weak limbs. You ever wake up feeling heavy or weak, especially in the legs? That could mean that these are out of balance for you. They tend to be a person with a pale complexion. They're tired all the time. They might have some fluid retention in their body, especially in those lower extremities. So that's something to look at. These people tend to also crave sweets, carbohydrates, and starchy foods. Dampness and phlegm, these are considered pathogenic factors, meaning something that has happened to the body. It can be from something we got exposed to, from too many cold foods. It can be something external that came internal to create this within the body. And these substances can obstruct the flow of qi and lead to the weight gain. So the symptoms are the bloating, the water retention, they're tired, sticky stools, and hyperlipidemia, right? So they tend to have weight gain around the waist. They're tired. They have distension, cold limbs. These people also crave the sweets, the starches, and lots of caffeine. So there's also a body type with hormonal imbalances, right? We recognize the influence of hormones has an impact on weight. These factors such as stress, emotional issues, or simply the natural aging process that can also disrupt the delicate balance of hormones and lead to weight gain, especially around the abdomen. So these people tend to have emotional imbalances, mood swings, anxiety, depression, irregular menstrual cycle, hot flashes, night sweats, menopause, right? That kind of describes someone who might be in that state. The inability to lose or keep off excess weight. And then oftentimes Western medicine prescribes hormones to try and balance that out. And that's another nuanced protocol to try and get that balance to where the person needs it to be. Characteristics could include low energy, fatigue, sleep disturbances, insomnia, restlessness, and they crave that spicy or greasy food. Liver qi stagnation. Liver is responsible for the smooth flow of qi throughout the body. And when it's stagnant, when something is blocking it, it can usually be stress or emotional factors that contributes to that weight gain, especially emotional or stress-related eating. Again, this person's going to have that frustration, irritability, mood swings. They're going to feel stuck, like they just can't move through the emotion. They'll feel that abdominal bloating, distension, especially after meals. That's because the liver is right there, right next to where the food is coming down. They can experience muscle tension, headaches, neck and shoulder stiffness, muscle spasms, right? Trouble with sleep, vivid dreaming. And they also tend to crave sour or fried foods. And then we have spleen and kidney deficiency, right? So this can be when food isn't transformed properly. There can be that accumulation of that dampness that we talked about earlier. We can also have a decline in our vital essence and our metabolic function. It can affect our metabolism, water retention, which can create that weight gain in the body. So again, these are people with fatigue, cold hands and feet, that water retention, that bloating, backache, watery stool, diarrhea, prone to the flu. We got weight gain all around. They're tired at night. They have a weak immunity, tend to get sick, low sex drive, and difficulty digesting at night. So dairy and creamy foods are often the cravings for these individuals. So what are some effective treatments for this? Well, I've been talking about it this whole time. So acupuncture, of course, is one of the main ones. It can help circulate the qi and blood like we talked about, increase your metabolism, improve your digestion, reduce that urge to binge eat, reduce your urge for alcohol or high calorie foods, and reduce those body aches and pains. Sometimes with acupuncture, we'll use moxibustion, which is an herb that we burn that may or may not be on the skin, but it helps warm the channels. It helps improve that circulation. It can dispel that cold and dampness, relax the body, and enhance that ability to release toxins through the intestines. Cupping is another great thing to help with this. It can disintegrate so those saturated lipids, meaning that fat tissue. It can remove that dampness or that stagnation, and it improves circulation in the body. It can both be on a superficial level for those superficial areas where the fat might be stored, or it can go deeper into the muscle levels of the body too. And then herbal therapy, I'm going to talk a lot about this in a little bit, but it's going to be a customized herbs for the body of the person that is being treated. So we'll get into that in a minute here. So now that we've looked at all the basic patterns and we understand how those impact our bodies, let's look at contributing factors to weight gain. So in Chinese medicine, this is what we look at: inflammation. Chronic inflammation can contribute to weight gain by disrupting the metabolic process and promoting fat accumulation. We can offer a holistic approach to address that inflammation by focusing on rebalancing the body, reducing that inflammation, and optimizing organ function through the acupuncture, herbs, nutrition, and lifestyle modifications. And as we discussed, Chinese medicine has an emphasis on restoring harmony within the body to address these underlying causes of inflammation and support that healthy weight management. If we have a compromised lymphatic flow, that can cause weight gain. It's interconnected in the lymphatic system and plays a crucial role in regulating fluid balance and removing waste products from the body. So if you're not removing that waste product, if you're not flushing things through, your lymph is such an important part of keeping things flowing healthy. And when it becomes sluggish or congested, it can contribute to things like water retention, toxic buildup, and weight gain. So poor gut health, such as leaky gut syndrome or an imbalanced gut microbiota, that can also lead to inflammation, hormone imbalances, impaired nutritional absorption, all which contribute to weight gain. So we can, once again, use what we talked about to help balance out your gut health, make any adjustments, lifestyle modifications to help promote healthy digestion, reduce inflammation, and support weight management, all by addressing root causes. Just a couple more here. Hormones, right? This is another big one. And a lot of patients have issues with hormones. Things are out of balance. So things like testosterone and estrogen are some of the most common ones talked about. This imbalance can be likened to yin and yang. Yin is more feminine, still, dark, quiet, inward, right? Our fluids are yin. We think of that as estrogen. Yang is more masculine, loud, outward, moving, hot, bright. That's testosterone. And the body wants to balance between the two. However, with age, these hormone levels adjust and change, right? And oftentimes that leads to weight gain. For example, women with higher estrogen developed an increase of fat storage, and women are often prescribed estrogen to balance out the hormones, but they might be prone to weight gain because of that. So treatment would include herbal formulas designed to adjust the hormones and a diet recommendation that would include foods that nourish the yin, interestingly, such as yams or sweet potatoes. So eating habits and lifestyles are another one. So we can overeat and eat too quickly easily, right? How many of you have rushed between work or jobs or meetings and ate a bunch of food or ate while you're driving, right? That impacts how your food digests as well. Indulging in processed foods, right? You go through the drive-through because you're in a rush and you didn't have time to make your own meal. Foods that are too cold. Sometimes people do the raw diet, which does work for some people, but oftentimes we eat those foods right out of the fridge. And when we do that, think about it, your body now has to spend all this extra time or all this extra energy to heat the foods up to our 98.6 degrees, when in fact, the fridge food was at 36 degrees. So now we're taxing the body to have to heat that food up to match what's happening in the body. Iced drinks, same things. How many people love their iced Starbucks drinks, right? Sometimes that can disrupt the flow of digestion as well. So we want the function of digestion to be smooth. And sometimes by adding these extreme temperatures, opposite of that would be spicy foods, right? Spicy foods can bring too much heat and break it down way too fast so you can't absorb it, right? So we have the opposites playing there. And then think about the lifestyle, right? Sometimes people eat late at night, and this is a big thing and a big change that I'm often recommending to my patients. The body burns at a slower rate at night as it's replenishing that yin cycle. So what that means is, instead of your body focusing on sleep and repairing everything, now you're forcing the body to have to digest first. And it doesn't want to do that. So it's kind of conflicted as where it's supposed to send the energy to break down things. And it can't do that when you're digesting, when you're supposed to be sleeping. So we recommend to not eat late at night if possible. Another thing that Chinese medicine looks at is food quality. This is so essential. Chinese medicine does not see the food biochemically. Food has qualities that include taste, temperature, shape, color, all which benefit specific organs to encourage their smooth flow. For example, sour and green foods benefit the liver. Bitter and red foods benefit the heart. Pungent white foods benefit the lungs, so on and so forth. So we can customize what would be some nutritional medicine that could help you specifically for your body type. So hopefully this has given you a little bit of oversight into what we look at for Chinese medicine and some contributing factors to weight gain. So now let's talk about Chinese medicine treatments for weight reduction. We're going to talk about acupuncture. I'm going to dive into Chinese herbal therapy, and then I'm going to share with you some Qinei Song massage techniques that you can do on your own body. So let's take a look at acupuncture and what it really is. So acupuncture is the use of tiny little needles that are about the size of a hair, right? We can see from this scale that it's not the size of a matchstick. It's not the size of a medical syringe, which is what most people are used to when they've been poked by needles. Not even the size of a sewing needle. It is smaller than that. So oftentimes most people don't really feel it or notice it. And if they do, it feels like a mosquito bite. You notice it and then it dissipates. So what does acupuncture do? It regulates the metabolism, right? It has a positive impact on metabolic function, metabolic function, regulates the body's energy and expenditures by utilizing nutrients. It helps optimize the metabolic processes, and it supports efficient calorie burning or weight management. Acupuncture can also reduce food cravings and appetite. We look at the root causes of food cravings and overeating, as we just discussed, and we can target specific points that influence appetite reduction. Yes, they do exist. And we can reduce cravings for unhealthy foods, control appetite, and promote healthier eating habits. It can also help with stress reduction and improved emotional well-being, right? Stress and emotional factors contribute to weight gain. So acupuncture has a calming and relaxing effect on the body. It reduces stress levels and promotes emotional well-being. And we can alleviate this stress by managing emotions, improving mood, and creating a more balanced mindset for weight loss. Acupuncture can also enhance the digestion and nutrient absorption, right? We can stimulate the digestive system and improve the overall gut function. We can increase gastric motility, enhance your nutrient absorption, and we can alleviate digestive issues like bloating, indigestion, constipation. And we can efficiently process and utilize those nutrients for energy, as we discussed earlier. We can balance the hormones of the body as well. We can rebalance the hormone levels by targeting specific points, again, that influence the endocrine system. We can bring that hormonal equilibrium and address specific issues such as insulin resistance, thyroid dysfunction, cortisol imbalances, all of which contribute to weight gain. And we can restore that hormonal balance for that optimal management and overall well-being. So now let's take a look at understanding Chinese herbology. Chinese herbs are substances that are derived from plants, minerals, and animal products. They're typically prescribed in combination to create herbal formulas tailored to an individual's specific needs, and they're categorized based on their tastes, temperatures, and impact of the body's organ systems. So what is the taste? What does that mean? So each herb has a different taste. We can see from this list here, sweet nourishes and harmonizes and moistens the body. Sour can astringe and tonify. Bitter can help drain and dry and detoxify. Spicy and pungent can disperse, promote circulation, and warm. Salty can soften and purge, and bland drains and promotes urination. And then we look at the temperatures too of the herbs and foods as well. So hot generally creates heat in the body, disperses coldness, promotes circulation. Warm, same thing, it warms and stimulates the body function. Neutral can maintain the harmony of the body. Cool can clear the heat, cool the body, and cold can clear heat also, and reduce inflammation and cool the body as well. How does it impact the organ systems and digestion? Each herb has specific affinities to certain organ systems, and this can influence digestion by stimulating or calming the digestive system, improving appetite, promoting nutrient absorption, and relieve digestive disorders. So what's it like when Chinese herbs are prescribed? Well, we can assess and create an individualized herbal prescription, as I discussed earlier. We'll evaluate the individual for their unique constitution and specific weight loss goals. We help select appropriate Chinese herbs based on this assessment, and then do modifications as needed. And dosage is really important too, and the safety guidelines. So I just want to take a moment here to say that there's a common misconception that because it's an herb, it's safe. not true. There are definitely herbs that can hurt people. So much so, some of our herbs have become illegal. Why? Because somebody abused them. Typically not someone with Chinese medicine in their background, usually some form of it being in a supplement of some kind. And then they decide that that was harmful, somebody got hurt. So all of the Chinese herbs that are associated with that often become illegal, which is too bad because these herbs are really powerful. So don't be fooled. Just because they're herbs doesn't mean they're safe. And that's why it's really important to have someone certified helping prescribe herbs and supplements for you. So we also monitor and make adjustments, right? So of course we want the one size fits all pill to just make that happen. That's not true. If you've been listening to this presentation, we need to customize for each person. And sometimes it takes a little bit of tweaking every once in a while with those herbal prescriptions to help make sure we get you going in the right direction. Because eventually, if we're doing our jobs, you start to feel the changes and then your pattern changes, and we can modify the herbs as your pattern changes to meet the needs as your body transitions into a different state, which is what we want. We don't want you to stay stagnant and the same all the time, right? Something's not working if that's happening. So we want these changes to happen. And so we can discuss that with you. We come up with strategies on tracking weight loss, energy levels, and other relevant factors. And we encourage, regular communication between the patient and the practitioner to be able to see if the herbs are helpful. So we have an integration with other lifestyle factors. We have guidance, recommendations, and discussions on the importance of stress management for emotional health and well-being. I'm just going to close my window. Sorry about that. Neighbor decided to do some construction. All right. So now let's talk about what you've all been waiting for, Qin Song. So this is an ancient Chinese medical abdominal massage. And this is really helpful for a lot of patients who come to see me because Qin Song is this specialized form of massage that originates in China. It focuses on releasing the energy blockages, improving the flow of qi through the body, especially the abdominal area. And by addressing these underlying emotional imbalances, it can promote that healthy digestion, support, and detox. And it can help optimize the function of the digestive system, enhance metabolism, and promote weight loss naturally and holistically. So if you are all ready and you're sitting somewhere comfortable, you can do this with me now. So if you'd like to, you can lift your shirt up to your rib cage, move your pants to your hip bones, and we can do this first technique. We're moving the body, we're moving the circulation toward the exit. So the motion that I did with this, I was making an L with my hand. So you know that side that looks like an L to you, that is the left side. So you want to go clockwise. So it's just hand over hand. And what you want to do is just massage your belly in a clockwise motion. So you can do two different techniques. You can do hand over hand, like I'm doing right now. It's very superficial. It doesn't have to be deep pressure. This is for the lymphatic level of the body, which is superficial. Again, you're going down toward that left side, or you can do hand over hand, or hand palm on top of palm, however you want to say it, to help move the circulation in the body. So if there's one thing you take away from today, this is it. This is the move. This is something you can do when you wake up in the morning, when you go to sleep at night. If you're feeling congestion in your abdomen, you can do this self-massage to help aid in digestion. Next one, we can do a little bit more pressure. We're doing the same hand over hand. And what you're doing is you're kind of making a wave, right? Your navel is in the center of your palms, and you're just making a wave back and forth, right? Don't hurt yourself, lighten your pressure if it's uncomfortable. But what we're doing here is we're helping to break up the congestion, move anything that might be stuck. Could be poop. And so this is something else, that you can add to your technique. And you can move it up. You can go above the navel, you can go at the level of the navel, you can go below, and kind of play with the different levels of your abdomen using the palm, the base of the palm to kind of be what moves it back and forth, right? And also you can use this diagnostically. You can take a look and acknowledge and connect to your belly and recognize if there's areas of tension. Do you feel pain? Do you have discomfort? Does it feel good? Right? So that's going to be an indication that there might be something out of balance if it's not comfortable. So this is another thing you can do to move that lymph, move that fecal matter. This opens up the blood circulation in the belly and helps relieve some of those digestive symptoms. This could be a good one to do if you're feeling bloated. It's going to help move things through. Next technique is we're going to locate the navel and you're going to locate the sternum. And we're going to start at the top, right? We're going to follow this line and you're going to go from the navel and you're just going to do little circles and you're going to do from one point to the next point as you slowly make your way up toward the sternum. And this is going to open up that midline area, clear out some of that chi. And now we're going to go back down. We're going to go from the sternum, do a couple of circles. You're going to move down to the next point, depending on how long your abdomen is. It could be 3 or 4 or 5 points. Do what's comfortable and do a pressure at a level that feels comfortable too, right? So this is going to help clear out that chi, move and open that area, right? So we have a lot of organs that meet here. We have the transverse colon, we have the liver and gallbladder, the stomach and spleen. We have the esophagus coming through here, a little off to the side, but this is where it's all coming to meet. I think of it as a crossroads, and this area is where people tend to be stuck. Don't push hard, don't hurt yourself. This is meant to be a gentle way to move your body through, move the congestion through. And now we're going to take this to the next level. 2 parts. So again, we're finding the navel and the midline on the midline. And you're going to come up. Same thing we did last time, coming up those 2, 3, 4 points, depending on your abdomen, bringing it all the way up. And now we're going to, next step, separate our hands to be on either side. And now we're going to follow the line going down either side. So we're following acupuncture meridians, we're massaging acupuncture points, and we're using this technique all the way down to the pubic bone to help open up what might be stagnant or stuck in these areas of the body. So again, notice which points are uncomfortable, which ones feel good, which ones do you want to spend more time on? You know, I'm showing you the technique here, but if you come back to this video, all you need to do is, repeat what you saw and then spend some time on one of these points if they're feeling uncomfortable. Break up that stagnation, give it some love, give that part of you some attention. So it doesn't matter how many points you find, whatever it is, depending on your torso size, but just finding points about a finger or 2 width apart as you go up and down the belly, right? So we're making different lines to kind of clear out that energy that might be stuck. And whenever you're done with the technique, you always want to come back to massaging your belly hand over hand. We call it, you want to make nice after doing something that might have been a little bit more intense, right? So that's the next technique for you. And that was Qine Song. And now we're going to move on to Chinese medicine at home recommendations for weight loss. And what can we do at home? So here are just some simple herbs that you can get that can help with weight loss, right? Herbs can be thought of as food. So ginseng is a good one. It can boost energy, but I also want you to be careful, right? Ginseng is really common. It's out there. You can get it as a supplement. It comes mixed with a lot of different remedies that are out there, if you will, but ginseng can be lifting and it can be hot and warming. So just be careful that if you're already someone that's really hot and has high energy, this might not be a good one for you. However, it is a good tonification herb and can be helpful for you. And dosage is important, like I talked about earlier. So sometimes less is more when it comes to ginseng. Astragalus, you probably heard of this one. This regenerates tissues of the body and the brain. This is another tonifying herb that helps with digestion. It goes to the heart and just helps your body circulate. And it also supports your immune system as well, as a side note. Next herb is turmeric. How many people have that in their cupboard already, right? So turmeric is anti-inflammatory. We use this to decrease inflammation in the body and also treat pain, right? So this is another good one that you can use. You can put it on some avocado, add it to your salads, put it in different dishes, right? That can help with aiding in some weight loss. Here's some food for medicine, or excuse me, food as medicine. Green tea has been known to boost metabolism and help with weight loss. Don't drink it at night, usually has caffeine, but it definitely can be a helpful drink to have, right? So instead of eating, drink water, drink tea. Sometimes we mistake thirst for hunger. We think we're hungry, but we're actually thirsty. So, sometimes if you're like, well, I know that I just ate, maybe you should try drinking some tea and then see if you're still hungry, and that can shift your metabolism. Bitter melon, you can find this in the grocery store. It also helps you manage the feelings of fullness and regulates the insulin of the body. So it's a really great thing to start adding to salads. Think of it as like super similar to cucumber, but with a more bitter taste. And then seaweed, that's another really good one. It's really good for the yin. It's got all the minerals and trace elements, not all, it's rich in minerals and has trace elements, and it can help balance the thyroid. So you've probably seen it in the store where you can get the different seaweed packs, and they can be really helpful and a nice little snack for you as well. So emotional regulation for weight loss. Now, I have a lot to say when it comes to emotions. For those of you who have seen me before or gotten treatment by me, there's a lot of meditations in Taoism that help regulate the emotions, the inner smile and 6 healing sounds, the microcosmic orbit, and many, many more. I do have some of them on my website, but here are some of the concepts I'm going to share with you. And I do have other classes about emotions that I can list in the link below. But I'm just going to touch on this for a little bit right here. So the first thing for emotional regulation is smiling. Seems really silly, but I kid you not, the Taoists figured this out thousands of years ago, before there was testing and imaging and blood work and all of those things. But they realized that when we smile, we can create change in our body. When we smile, we release positive hormones from our brain, serotonin, dopamine, endorphins, right? You ever walk down the street and somebody smiles at you for no reason and you're like, oh, that felt really good. That's because someone else's smile released those positive hormones in your brain. So if you're ever feeling down on yourself, if you're ever feeling like you can't get out of whatever rut or loop or rumination that you're in, start to smile and fake it till you make it, right? Smile and start to shift things. You never know what that's going to do. Or if you're around someone that's in some kind of emotional state, sometimes you can use a smile to shift things. So try it out as an emotional regulation. It's free. It doesn't take much other than moving some muscles in your face. Next thing for emotional regulation is breathing. If we're not breathing, that's when we tend to get emotional, right? So every single cell in our body needs oxygen, and deep breathing provides the cells with what they need to function properly. So think about, you ever see those movies or TV shows where someone's like having a panic attack, and what do? Here's a brown paper bag, and I'm going to go blow into this brown paper bag. And why do they do that? Not necessarily to get the carbon dioxide, but to just get them to take those deep breaths. Because when we don't breathe, when we are doing shallow breathing, especially if we're anxious or stressed about something, what happens? We don't get enough oxygen. What happens when our brain doesn't get enough oxygen? We panic. And then it becomes this loop that keeps going, and we have trouble breathing. And that can be in a panic attack, or can be in this sustained state of stress because we're not getting enough oxygen to our brain and to our cells, right? If you think about every kind of meditation, every type of yoga, qigong, what do they all say? Come back to your breath. Take those deep breaths. That's a really important way to help manage your emotions. And the next thing is to visualize. We have a saying in Chinese medicine, where the mind goes, qi flows. Start visualizing how you want your body to be. Start visualizing how you want to feel in your body. Think about that, live into it. And there's a great meditation called the Tao of Beauty that's on my website as well, where it's a 20-minute meditation that takes you through that whole visualization of seeing how your body is and what you want it to look like and how you want to feel. It's a great meditation for transformation. So just a little bit tying back to the 5-element theory. So we can see here with the emotions that each of the organ systems associated with each of the 5 elements, there are different sounds, colors, positive and negative emotions related to each of the organs. And I'll send this PDF of the slideshow so you can take a look and really study this. And you can start to see how if one organ is out of balance emotionally, it can show up in the other organs as well. And then we have the negative emotional cycle. If we have those negative emotions, then that could impact different organs, right? So a really common example is you tend to be irritable and you want to explode all the time. That liver energy's got to go somewhere. And sometimes it'll overact on the stomach and spleen and you'll get diarrhea, right? Do you ever feel like, I really like upset about something and then you got to poop? Yeah, sometimes that can be that relationship between the liver overacting on that spleen because those emotions weren't being able to be contained and managed properly. So again, you can look at this when you get the slides at home. And now I'm going to show you a little bit of Qigong for weight loss. So we'll go through each of these videos. The first one on the left-hand side, the gentle twist. What you're doing is you're opening the body. Let's see if we can play this here. So all she's doing is moving her hands back and forth, twisting the body, moving the lymphatic flow. This relaxes the shoulders, flushes the organs, and helps open the upper body. Here's another one. To move the lymphatic flow, we have a whole bunch of lymph in our armpits, and this gets stuck and we got to flush it through, right? It's draining the head and the neck, and some of it shows up here, and we want to make sure that flushes. So with this movement, that's what you can do. She's just moving her hands back to back and opening her arms. That's it. Just moving the arms open and closed, right? So we can do these simple exercises of Qigong to help create circulation in the body. And this one, she's using a chi ball, right? She's imagining there's a ball of energy between her hands and she's moving them back and forth. And then she's collecting it into her body at the end. So these are really brief. You don't have to do them this short. You can pick up the technique from these videos and do them longer. That's kind of an idea of how we can use Qigong to help aid in weight loss and digestion. Hopefully the key that you're picking up is circulation is essential for having good metabolism and flow through the body. And now let's do some acupressure for weight loss, right? So first things first, let's do the inner gate. This is called pericardium 6. It's about 3 finger widths down, and you can massage this point. It reduces food cravings, reduces appetite, and it calms your emotions. It's also good for nausea. The next point, I can't show you on my foot, but you can see from this picture, is called spleen 6. It regulates the hormones, or balances the hormones, regulates appetite, enhances digestion, goes directly to the spleen. Again, this is 3 finger widths above the inner ankle bone. You can massage that as well to help with digestion. Next point is stomach 36. This is a desert island point. If there is one acupuncture needle and one point I could needle on a desert island, this would be it. This one boosts digestion, reduces food cravings, supports weight management. It also creates red blood cells in the body. It's an excellent point to massage every day. It's 4 finger widths down from the kneecap and on the about a finger width on the outside of the bone of the body. And you can massage that point. There's usually a little hole there, and that can help improve function of the leg as well. Next point is called Heart 7. Heart 7. I'm sorry, I didn't change that. Whoops. This is actually called Stomach 12. It's called the empty basin. It's halfway between the sternum and the navel. We massaged that a little bit earlier today in the Chine song. It reduces bloating, promotes weight loss, aids in digestion, right? So this is a great point. If you're feeling that bloated feeling, go ahead and massage this point in gentle circles. And there's different pressures you can do. You can do press and hold, you can do gentle circles, or you can just hold your palm there and feel the connection to those acupoints. Quickly, I'm going to talk about sleep hygiene. There's a lot to be said for sleep, but when we sleep is when we heal. So having a good night routine is going to be essential for weight loss, right? So just a couple quick things. We have a night routine, right? That's a really important thing. Start turning down the lights as you're getting towards sleep. So if you want to be in bed by 11, start turning down the lights at 10 o'clock. If you can turn off the screens, that would be ideal. The blue light can be really stimulating for the brain. So oftentimes people are looking at their phones right before bed and then they can't fall asleep. And it's because that blue light is stimulating. So a solution is blue light blocking glasses. Some screens or phones now come with like a night light where it turns the light to a different color. That can be helpful as well. And then giving yourself complete darkness. So, if there's a light from the phone charger or the computer or the TV or a night light, right, that light is still stimulating to the brain. We want it to release the melatonin. So you need to shut down all the dark and give yourself all the darkness that you can. Really good thing to do is an eye mask. Here are some healthy habits for weight loss: mindful eating, chewing slowly, allowing the digestion to start in the mouth, right? Don't swallow food whole, chew it, and that can help with digestion. Meditation, deep breathing, right? Get that oxygen to the brain. We already talked about this. Clear your mind of that excessive and unnecessary information. And then, of course, doing movement. Any kind of movement is good movement, right? If you're up and about, you're lapping all those people on the couch. So whether it's running, walking, lifting weights, doing some of the Qigong movements that you learned today, all of these improve circulation. And we've come to the end. Here are some references for those of you who are interested in where some of the information came from. If you want to connect with me, here's my contact info. You've obviously found me on my website. And so I'm offering 15-minute free discovery calls. We can do a short call to see if Chinese medicine is something that you are interested in. You can also do an herbal consult. Some people just want to do herbs, so we can do that on the telehealth. We can virtually meet up and do a 30-minute session and talk about what herbs will be good for your weight loss journey. Or, as I'm going to take the last few minutes to talk about, you can join me for this upcoming 8-week weight loss program that's going to start June 15th. I am so excited about this. So if you value what you've learned today and you're ready to use Chinese medicine to unlock your weight loss journey, then I invite you to think about joining this program. So the goals of this program are to identify these underlying causes of the weight gain, alleviate the symptoms, right? Provide strategies and tools, and then empower you to have a deeper insight into your digestive needs. So what do the programs look like? So we have a basic program, which is just simply 8 weeks of acupuncture. There's going to be 8 weeks, weekly videos that are going to be included and some Qigong meditations. The premium is 8 weeks of acupuncture plus an herbal prescription and the medical abdominal massage in a 90-minute session. Our VIP program includes functional medicine. If you don't know what functional medicine is, it's when I have a colleague I work with who's also a Chinese medicine practitioner, and she'll look at your lab work. You can get the blood work, the stool samples done. She could do functional nutritional support with you and help you dive deep into what might be caused by your issue. And if you're not here locally, there is a virtual version of this too. We do 8 weeks of wellness coaching. You'll get the videos and the Qigong meditations as well. So if you're not local to San Diego, this is available to you as well. Quick overview, we have 8 weeks of different themes that we're going to talk about with the videos, right? So we can talk about nutritional basics, meal planning, mindful eating, physical activity, different support systems, so on and so forth. So if you are interested and you watch this video today, you can get 20% off using this discount code. You can click on the link in the chat box for details. They'll be included in the email for all of those who are getting the recording, and you can join the waitlist. Spots are limited. but 8 weeks of this weight loss program starting June 15th. All right. And that's all I got for you guys today. We're ending right on time. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate your support, and I hope you value the information that you learned today. Please let me know if you have any questions, and I look forward to seeing you in the next class.